preps to pros and everything in between. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, coming to you from the Lee Company studio, WKOM 1017 FM, WZYX 94.5, WZYXradio.net. We've got a lot to get to today because it is Prep Football Preview Day. The difference is we've got a couple of games coming up tonight. When we get off the air, we'll be heading out to local high school football games. We've got Lawrence County over in Lewisburg against Marshall County. And then, of course, down in Summertown, the Pegasus Cup will take place as Loretto travels north on 41. 43. Now, there's a song called North on 41. It's, good times, great oldies. But it's not an oldie. It's more of an independent that nobody's ever heard but me, probably. But yeah, a lot to get to. We're going to talk to Barry Daniel later in the show. That's going to be a lot of fun. Loretto football coach joins us for Coach's Corner today. We also have, of course, our Fast Stop game of the week, Ravenwood Summit. And then we will preview other games around Southern Middle Tennessee. And then finally, we'll give you our picks as Mo and I are still tied after a 10-1 week last week.
11-1.
Well, that was my question was, do we want to count the Oakland game? Because, we picked it.
Yeah, we picked it.
I say we count it.
Yeah, why
it
would
gives
we
us
not?
an extra win. I'm for it.
Trust
if we
me,
lost, I'd say no.
Yeah, exactly.
But we didn't. We picked it right. So, yeah, we go for it. All right. So, yeah, we're going to get to all of that. Top stories here in just a few minutes as well. We'll hand out some hardware. We'll talk about the Braves and pro football in our top stories and get that out of the way as quickly as possible. But before we do any of that, we have to give you yesterday or some of results from yesterday, some results from Tuesday, and today's schedule on the rundown.
This is the Rundown.
Let's do it.
The Thursday Rundown is brought to you by Barry B. Coble with Crest Point Wealth Management. Barry B. Coble with Crest Point Wealth Management offers personalized wealth management strategies for clients based on where you are in your financial journey. Go see Barry at Crest Point Wealth Management at 700 North Main Street in Columbia. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research Incorporated, a broker-dealer member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Crest Point Wealth Management and Cambridge are not affiliated.
I hope Barry's a Tone Loc fan.
I think she is.
Tuesday volleyball action that we did not get yesterday. Independence defeated Summit in 5 sets, 3-2. It was Culleoka defeating Santa Fe 3-1. In girls soccer action yesterday, Culleoka blanked Fayetteville 2-0.
Today's middle school football action at 5:30 over at Columbia Academy. You can catch Nashville Christian and the Bulldogs. And at Mount Pleasant at 6 o'clock, they'll kick off between the Battle Creek Bears and the Mount Pleasant Tigers. In high school football tonight, 7 o'clock kickoffs, Lawrence County again at Marshall County and Loretto at Summertown.
In volleyball today, Lincoln County, Lauderdale County out of Alabama, and Loretto will play a tri-match at the Lady Mustangs. That's at 4:30. Also at 4:30, Summertown travels to Brooks, Alabama. At 5:30, Hampshire travels to Santa Fe. At 6 o'clock, Zion Christian hosts Collinwood, and Culleoka hosts Mount Pleasant. Also at 6, Independence takes on visiting Ravenwood. At 6:30, Summit travels to Lebanon.
In girls soccer action at 6 tonight, Columbia Academy goes to Tullahoma. Lawrence County hosts Culleoka, and Columbia Central at 7 o'clock will play host to Giles County. And that's going to do it for your rundown. Those 4:30 volleyball matches will be over fast enough for them to get back for the football game. Bet.
In Loretto?
No, in summer. The football game's in Summertown.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying.
But yet they'll still be able to get from Brooks and Loretto
back. to the ball
back
game?
to the ball game.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Not expecting much resistance on the opponent's part, huh?
No, I
Okay.
don't. Let's talk a little bit about the Atlanta Braves, who are likely to clinch the National League East sometime in the next 2 or 3 days.
They're likely to clinch the National League East while you're on the field at Lewisburg and I'm at Summertown.
Very likely. You know, we were talking about this yesterday. You didn't really know how to feel going into this series. It was kind of, man, I just don't know about I don't know about this team. Are they the Braves? Are they going to break my heart? It just, in an October-like atmosphere with the two best pitchers you have, you did exactly what you are supposed to do. You go out there, you pitch well. The offense wakes up last night. The bullpen outside of Will Smith 2 nights ago has been fantastic.
Well, I mean, if you are a results-oriented individual, then Will Smith got it done. Now, as long as you don't care how he got it done, he just got it done, then, hey, mission accomplished.
Well,
Now,
again,
he pushed some more business toward his wife, supposedly, in that outing.
my only problem with Will Smith is that eventually that's not going to happen, and it's not going to happen against the Dodgers. You're not going to be able to load the bases and get out of it.
With no out.
You're not going to be able to do it.
No.
So, and that's been my argument on someone. Well, he's got 30 some odd saves. He's only blown 6 saves or whatever. Yeah, but the vast majority of his saves have come against teams with losing records. The Marlins, the Nationals, the Mets.
Teams that could not take advantage of those situations that he created.
Right. Exactly.
And against teams that can take advantage of those situations, they
do.
will.
They have. They do, and they will.
Yeah. Well, and even some teams that shouldn't have, looking at the Nationals back in August on that Saturday night.
So, yeah, it doesn't matter because the Braves would have to lose out and the Phillies would have to win out. That's the thing, is the Braves don't even have to win a game. The Phillies just have to lose one, and it's over.
You don't want to back into it, though.
No. And the Mets have pretty much melded in.
The Mets have pretty much mailed it in, and I would submit, based on last night anyway,
The
not
Phillies
necessarily on Tuesday night, but based on last night, Phillies might have mailed it in. They might be done.
I think it's possible.
I think this thing ends tonight,
Yeah. I would agree with you.
which kind of makes my Saturday tickets moot, but that's okay. It'll still be fun to be
You
down
might
there.
get to see Josh Tomlin's final start.
I am concerned about the team that we are going to see on Saturday when we go down
Who
here.
is it going to be?
Yeah.
Is Shea Langeliers coming up?
I would say Contreras will be behind the plate. I'd say Adrianza will be in the lineup somewhere.
That may be all weekend. I mean, if they win tonight,
Why would you not get some guys off their feet?
it's nothing
I
but
mean, just-
AAA from here on out.
Or maybe you start somebody, get them one at bat and get them out, something like
Yeah.
that. I think it'll be interesting, as always, to see how Brian Snitker manages this series this weekend, should they clinch tonight.
It's always interesting to see how Brian Snitker manages series. That's all I know.
Yeah. But as we mentioned, magic number, Otis Nixon, or as was pointed out, turn off his mic.
I love Otis.
Clearly you don't.
No, I love the dude, and he was one of my favorite players. So
That was awful.
it was bad.
That
I
was just that
apologize.
was mean and mean spirited.
Lord, I apologize.
Yeah.
Be with the pygmies in New Guinea.
Magic number Otis Nixon or Rafael Furcal, or as was pointed out to me, Jerry Royster.
Ooh, I mean, I know, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
I forgot that
Jerry
you were
Royster.
born.
There you go. Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. Ian Anderson gets the start tonight, 8-5 with a 3.60 ERA. Kyle Gibson goes for the Phillies, 10-8 with a 3.60. Again, the Braves 85 and 72, and there was a time we wondered if they'd ever get over 500.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Well, again, as I told you, as soon as they did, downhill from here. Downhill.
it was like a soapbox derby car or something.
exactly what it was.
Boom. Yeah, Phillies 88, 81 and 77. 6:20 start tonight. 40 minutes before kickoff, so we'll be able to hear a couple of innings anyway before we have to devote our focus to other stuff. 5:05.
Nope.
No? What's on tonight?
Probably not. On 103, we should have.
Hey, Coach?
Nope, that's on 101. So maybe. I don't know. Good question.
Check in around 5:05 on our sister station, 103.7 WKRM.
Don't check in at 5:05. We'll be on the air. You're going to want to stay here at 5:05.
That's right. Yeah, check in once we get off the air here
To see if it's
to
playing.
see if the Braves are on or not.
That's all I got for you.
There you go.
Don't switch
Do
the
that.
channel.
Yeah, listen to us. We'll be more entertained than the Braves pregame.
Probably. Do you have a Braves history today?
I do not.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Real quick, Jag Cincy tonight. If you want to watch the Jaguars that against a team that's not the Titans, this is probably going to be your only opportunity. So do that.
You might want to see Joe Burrow,
Joe Burrow's pretty good.
Jamar Chase.
Number you mentioned earlier, matchup of two number ones, last two number one draft picks. So
Yeah.
should be fun. Let's hand out some hardware. What do you say?
Let's do it.
We don't have the let's do it on. We just need that on a
Yeah, we do.
button.
You guys aren't picky at all, are you?
Hey,
I'm just
we are. We
needy.
are,
I know,
actually.
that's-
We are.
I don't know why he.
I didn't even realize it was open to debate.
How is this
yeah,
news?
I knew this. Yeah, you're right. It's nothing new. It's nothing new.
You've been doing this for what?
Yeah, a year.
minus 2
I
months?
want more.
That's exactly right.
You shall have more.
Thank you.
In to Win Life Team of the Week presented by Custom Stone Handlers. Big win last week over First Assembly Christian.
Big win.
Yeah,
47-0.
that's how they do it.
That's pretty big.
Over at Richland, the Raiders coming up big with the In to Win Life Team of the Week award. So congratulations to Coach Nick Patterson and his team. Mo, the MTBJ Player of the Week.
The Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Player of the Week, Independent Senior Receiver Jack Rummel. All he did last week was catch 9 balls for 272 yards and a pair of touchdowns in the Eagles' 40-18 road win over the Eagles
The
of East Nashville.
Not East Independence.
No, not East.
I can't believe I did that. It is.
Life
what
comes
it
at you fast.
is. It really does, especially on this show. So, but yeah, congratulations to Jack Rummel. Well deserved. We've been debating a couple of times on whether to give it to him, and finally we just couldn't not.
Could not. Yeah.
I mean, the kid on the season with 835 yards rushing, which is almost
Receiving.
Yeah. It's more than double the next player who's not on his team. So there you go. Congratulations. When we come back, we're going to talk to Coach Barry Daniel of Loretto on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe. So stick around. It is game night for him. So if you want to hear what he's thinking going into tonight's game, stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, returns to the Lee Company studio right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Today, live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, as we get you ready for Thursday and Friday night football. Couple of different nights. That's exciting when we have two nights of high school football in a row. We get a couple of Lawrence County games tonight, one of which between two teams from the LC, the other Lawrence County traveling over to Marshall County in a region matchup. The reason for tonight's Pegasus Cup on a Thursday is it's Fair Week. And that's exciting because Fair Week is always fun. And next week is fall break. So it all works out really well for everybody down there. It also works out for Loretto football coach Barry Daniel, who joins us on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill. From the Heart Cafe, where you can get some of the most delicious food in all of Southern Middle Tennessee. Go see Renee and the fine folks at From the Heart in Chapel Hill, right there off of 99. Just take a right like you're going to Henry Horton, and it's right there on the right. Can't miss it. And it's delicious. So now we welcome in Loretto football coach Barry Daniel. Coach, thanks for taking some time with us today on game day.
Hey, thanks for having us on, man. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the exposure for our kids and our program.
Coach, your Mustangs coming into the Pegasus Cup matchup tonight. Big Region 5 2A matchup as well. Coming in at 2-4 overall and 0-2 in region play. Summertown 2-2, 1-1. So I guess given the number of close games that you guys have played in, you kind of hope this one isn't as suspenseful, maybe?
Well, yeah, we hope. I mean, we've had a lot of close games. We've had a lot of close calls and this, that, and the other this season. And, you talked to the team yesterday, as a matter of fact, at the end of practice, and said, guys, we've lost 4 games by a total of 24 points. So just a break or two here or there changes the outcome of those games, and we may be sitting here at 5-1 or 6-0 for all we know. But yeah, we hope that tonight, it's not quite as close, but if it is, we've been there, done that. Let's just try to make some breaks for ourselves in that game to make it go our way instead of the other team's way.
Hey, that's an interesting point. The fact that you have been in some close games. Again, your 4 losses, 45-38 to Lawrence County, 13-7 at Forest, 17-7 at home against Mount Pleasant, and 21-20 last week over at Lewis County on a game where you went for 2 with 8 seconds left and couldn't come up with it. That's all after a 7-6 win to open the season at Collinwood. So you guys have been right there on a number of occasions, and I would guess, like you said, the one thing is you have kind of been there, done that in terms of close and late, as they call it in baseball.
Yeah, we have, and we've scored late, in some games to either pull it close or to go ahead and win it. Like when in the Collinwood game, we scored with 90 seconds or something left in the game to win the game, and then when all looked like it was lost against Lawrence County, we throw a long pass to tie it back up, to looking at possible overtime or whatever. And then Friday night scored with 8 seconds left. So, and even against Mount Pleasant, I mean, it looks like a 10-point game, but we were inside the 10 two times and had 2 fumbles that, if we convert both of those, you never know. So, we've had some close games and some unfortunate things happen during those games, but our kids, that's one thing. It's a testament to the kids that I get to coach every day. They show back up, ready to go back to work, and they're standing at practices on Monday going, Coach, what do we need to do to get better? And that's all you can ask from them.
When you are asking these kids to continue coming out here each and every week, it's because the fact of the matter is that, as we've said on this show a number of times, Mo, 5-2A is up for grabs each and every week. Anybody can win on any given Thursday or Friday night. And this is just one of those, you've still got 3 games left. You guys have every opportunity to get to play yourselves into a playoff position. And, you have the ability to continue to reach the goals that you want to reach. So, what is it about, this region that makes it so, I guess, up in the air?
I think all the teams are relatively even. I don't think there's, in the past it's been Lewis County and everybody else, for years. Forest had a year or two there where, they were competing or winning a region championship, but usually it's everybody's chasing Lewis County and they're out. And, everybody is fairly even. Obviously there's teams that do things better and differently than others, and everybody has their own kind of unique, style of play of what they do and how they go about their business. But, I think that's the case. I mean, because just in our games, everybody's been relatively the same team, or just maybe a little bit different scheme here and there.
And Coach, when you talk about every team doing things a little bit different, clearly you guys are predicated on running the ball. Caden Porter, right at 600 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns. Case Tucker with 250-plus yards and another couple of touchdowns. You guys are going to pound the rock.
We're trying. I mean, that's our goal, is we want to run the ball. Because my philosophy is if you can run the ball and you can stop the run, you have a chance to win. But if we can establish the line of scrimmage and if we can do what we're supposed to do, I mean, I guess come from a defensive background, but at the same time, I know that if you can run the ball and you can run the ball consistently, we're not going to throw it. I mean, Porter's getting 6 or 8 yards, and Case is getting 6 or 8 yards. We're just going to let them keep getting 6 or 8 yards.
Which makes for some interesting drives home, I imagine, Coach, considering that the guy who would like to throw it is also your son, Carter Daniel.
Yeah, he doesn't say a whole lot. He likes to win, and he likes to throw. I mean, he likes throwing the ball, and I tell you, Carter, this season, I feel like I've had a good season for our team. I mean, I mean, that sure there's mistakes here and there that everybody has made, but I mean, for a sophomore, and of course, he told me earlier in the year, hey, everything's a whole lot slower this year as opposed to last year because, you know, a 14-year-old kid stepping in and being your quarterback last year, that's tough. And it's still hard. I mean, he's still 15. He won't turn 16 till next month. So, you know, it's a tough role, but at the same time, I mean, I've been happy with the way he's played and the way all of our guys have played. We just had some unfortunate circumstances, but you're right. He likes to win and he likes to throw it, but he understands, hey man, if Porter's getting this and Casey's getting that, I know I'm just going to keep handing that puppy off so we can continue to move the ball and score.
Speaking here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill with Loretto football coach Barry Daniel. Coach, you got Summertown coming up tonight in the Pegasus Cup. You guys have split the previous 6 games in this series. And the one thing that I figured out in the time that I've spent down in this part of the area is if it's Loretto and Summertown, it could be backyard badminton. It could be tiddlywinks, but whenever you two get on the same playing surface, it means a little bit more, as the SEC would say. I mean, what? And this is your second year at Loretto. I mean, have you figured that out as well? That it's a little bit different when it's Summertown across from you.
Yes, sir. I sure have. I mean, when I was at Brooks, we had a pretty fierce rivalry with Rogers High School. I explain it to my Alabama friends like, hey, it's like Brooks Rogers on steroids. I mean, there's nothing other way to explain it. I said, because, and you know, going through football and then in the basketball season, and then of course Carter is on the baseball team, and you know, seeing it through the baseball, it is, and that's what we talked about that, you know, this.
Don't forget volleyball, Coach.
Yeah, volleyball again.
Hey,
everything.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Like you said, it's softball, volleyball. You know, if we played them in soccer or tennis, it'd be the same way. I mean, it is on when you play Summertown and on both sides, and it makes for an interesting week, or it makes for an interesting night. You know, it depends on, you know, like for this week, it makes it an interesting week because you don't have to get over to the guys about, hey, we got to get excited here about playing this game. They're excited already, you know, and I'm sure the Summertown kids are as well. And like during basketball or baseball or volleyball or whatever, the school is a buzz. Hey, we're playing Summertown, you know, so it's a big deal.
You don't have to get them excited. Do you have to bring them down?
Well, that's one of the things that I talked about yesterday to a guy. You know, we want them to be, you know, enthusiastic, excited, and all that stuff coming out. But at the same time, we have to keep that under control because that can, you know, result in a missed block or a missed tackle or a penalty or something that we don't need because I'm playing with such excitement and enthusiasm. You know, let's keep it under control, but let's go get them too at the same time.
Coach, you obviously have Caden Porter in your backfield, and you've got Carter at quarterback, and of course Case Tucker as well, with a little extra 1-2 punch there. But Summertown's got a couple of backs and a quarterback that's pretty good too. How do you make sure that Javen Edmiston doesn't break open, for long plays or big plays, and how do you keep Colton Schaefer in check at quarterback?
Those guys are both really, really good players, and you're exactly right. That's probably one of the reasons I didn't sleep a whole lot this week, because those guys, they're both really good. They're both really big and powerful. And our defense is going to have to, like I was talking about, establishing the line of scrimmage. On the offensive side, we have to do the same thing defensively, and we have to play very disciplined because they're running the veer, or the option, and one missed assignment or one guy stepping out of the wrong gap, and one of those two guys can take it to the house.
Just like Novocaine always works, is what Herman Boone would say
Herman
about the
Boone,
veer.
that's right.
So there you go.
Yeah, just give it time, always works. And that makes you a little nervous. That makes you a little edgy. I mean, we do some option stuff, but we do it more out of the shotgun, where it's a read a read deal where you're going to read it and you're either going to give it to one of those banks or you're going to pull it out and throw it to a receiver with a little RPO. But it's still not the same all the time as that split back veer. That stuff's tough.
And, obviously you guys have to go on the road this time, and it's a little different when you go to Summertown. Obviously, you guys get the 12-7 win at home last year. How are your guys preparing for the short road trip? Because it's not from Loretto, you don't get a lot of these.
No, we're not close to anybody. And so unless we're playing Lawrence County or we're playing Summertown, everything's an hour at least. And last week I was a little panicked. We were going over to Lewis County and we couldn't get a bus here before 4:45 or 4:40, something like that. I'm thinking, wow, we're going to get there, at kickoff. I mean, but we got there, 5:40ish or something like that, and hey, get dressed, let's go. And I felt like it helped us. So, a short trip, just delays our departure time a little bit, and we may take the same approach because I felt like that helped our guys to come out a little more prepared, maybe, or maybe a little more excited. Didn't have a whole lot of time to sit around and think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting at,
That's it right there.
Don't think you only hurt the team, right, Coach?
Yeah. So, for us, a short bus ride, hey, we're welcome those. We're hunting them up every day.
They're not easy to find from Loretto, I assure you.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Coach, we thank you and we appreciate you for taking some time with us today. We are looking forward to tonight's Pegasus Cup matchup at Summertown, kickoff at 7 o'clock. Going to be a lot of fun. We appreciate it, man.
Hey, thank you guys for having us on. We sure do appreciate the exposure for our kids and our program.
Oh, absolutely. All right, we're going to come back on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports today and talk about the Fast Stop Game of the Week. That was Coach's Corner, brought to you by From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill, and that was Loretto coach Barry Daniel. Again, the Fast Stop Game of the Week coming at you in just a few minutes. It is Ravenwood at Summit. Stick around. We'll be right back. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our OrthoQuick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Talking high school sports, here's Mo and Chris.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Very excited to get more into some high school football. Thanks to Coach Daniel for taking some time with us, as they have a huge game tonight. Could have been our game of the week. Very well could have
Easily.
been. But instead, we have the Fast Stop Game of the Week coming at you, featuring two Williamson County teams, the defending region champion Ravenwood, coming off a tough win last week against Hendersonville. It's ironic that these two teams played Hendersonville and Beach.
Yeah, Sumner County teams.
Yeah. I passed a Sumner County bus going home on Friday night, and I thought, which one is this? Because I passed it about the Old Hickory exit, so could have been either one. Right. Don't know. Right. Summit hosting Ravenwood. I don't know that these two teams have ever played, Mo.
There should be a way to find that out.
There is, and I'll get there. But I'm just sitting here going, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
They have. They are 2-0 against the Spartans, but that was in 2013 and 2014 when.
Oh, that hardly even counts.
Yeah, it's not.
This isn't your older brother's Summit.
Not at all. Not at all. So this should be a fantastic football game, as you have Summit coming in. Are they? I missed the TSSAA AP poll this week.
Hang on.
Number 4 Summit is what they were last week.
Yeah, number 4 Summit and number 7 Ravenwood, maybe? I can't. Oh, here we go. Number 4 Summit, number 7 Ravenwood. Yeah. Which is exactly where they were last week as well. So Summit's 39-7 win over Beach meant nothing to anybody. But anyway.
And apparently Ravenwood's win over Hendersonville, who received votes in this poll, didn't mean much either.
Yeah, because neither of them moved.
I think this is just going to kind of be, it is what it is until somebody loses. Mm-hmm. These are the top 4, and good luck. Yeah. And that's fine.
Well, and what's interesting is I do believe Collierville and Germantown play this weekend as well.
They do, but and that could help Ravenwood if Ravenwood was to win, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So should be fun. And
polls only matter to us anyway.
They only matter to us who have to talk about them. I mean, honestly, I'd probably have Summit ahead of Riverdale, but that's just me.
I know someone who votes who does have Summit ahead of Ravenwood. Ahead of Riverdale, excuse me.
Would that certain person be in this room?
They would. They would.
It's not JP.
No, JP doesn't have a vote.
That's not to say that he shouldn't, just that he
doesn't.
doesn't.
He doesn't. Yeah.
No. Mo, let me tell you what I'm thinking here.
What are you thinking?
Hendersonville.
I knew I smelled smoke.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Hendersonville ran for 346 yards last week. That's what I'm thinking.
I smell what you're cooking, Rock. Yeah.
There is no way that Ravenwood can allow that to happen this week. If they do, they will get boat raced.
The only thing that would keep them from getting boat raced is if Chris Parson has a game like he had last week, and I don't think Hendersonville's defense is on par with Summit's defense. So
No, and obviously Summit doesn't have a running back like Torrin Baker. I mean, they don't have a guy that's your guy. Now, just like against Beach, when my guess is Will Hester is going to play very similar. When Keaton Wade is in the game, you're going to get one defense. When he's not, you're probably going to get something else. How do you combat that if you're Brian Coleman to make sure that when Keaton Wade is getting that breather, because he's going to need it, he's going to be needed on defense quite a bit tomorrow night. How do you remain successful on offense without him in the game?
as long as you got number 13 out there on offense, you got a chance to be successful offensively if you're Summit.
I agree completely, just because they stretch the field so well, but...
And when they stretch the field and they run that safety off, then, again, that gives number one a chance to make some plays, and he's going to make plays.
Let me ask you this.
And you can't forget about Dominic Hollis in the run game either.
No, but he's not Torrin Baker. He's not going to run for 229 yards on 23 carries.
Doesn't have to.
I'm just saying they don't have that like Hendersonville did. They have a bevy of backs that will gash you for 10 here, 12 here, and then Destin's going to throw it for 15 or 20 or 80, whichever one. Let me ask you this. Do you put Miles Pollard and line him up on 13 and tell him to shut him down?
You could do that. I mean, because Miles Pollard, I mean, he's a Michigan commit, so everything that comes with that. You'd like to think that he can be your Deion Sanders in that he can take away a half a field, and then you're playing 10 on 10, basically.
If Brady Pierce has a semi-decent game, who's the first person to offer him next week? Kentucky? Tennessee? Because somebody, if you go out there and one-on-one and you beat a Michigan commit, there is no, I don't care how tall you are, you've proved that you can play with the guys who are five-star prospects.
And it's a valid point, and it's an interesting concept, but Chris, when you talk to these kids about recruiting and you talk to these coaches about recruiting, the first thing coaches are asking them is, who's offered you? And if the answer isn't the right one, then they're not. Nobody wants to be the first. And I think that's what Brady Pierce is suffering from as much as anything. He doesn't have the measurables. All he does is go out and play football.
You know who might be the first person to offer him? Jim Harbaugh. I'm just saying.
Yeah, if you make one of our guys, if you make plays against one of our guys, maybe you should be one of our guys.
We think he's pretty good. You must be pretty good too.
Right.
So
yeah.
I'm just saying, I think Brady Pierce has an opportunity to make himself desirable to teams outside of the NAIA Division II level tomorrow night. And I hope he does.
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
What does Chris Parson have to be able to do on Friday against Maddox Reed on one side, Keaton Wade on the other? Is he going to have to be mobile? Is he going to have to get out of the pocket and make plays, or does he just have to stand in there and get the ball out?
I think he's got to stand in there and get the ball out. I think he's got to get the ball out quickly. I think Ravenwood's offensive line has to hold up and give him space in the pocket, time in the pocket to get the ball downfield, and they've got to be balanced. And they've got to keep the game manageable, because if they get down a couple of touchdowns and they have to sell out to the pass and allow Summit defensively to sell out to the pass, I think it gets to be a long night.
Yeah. Now, against Beach, Summit had some issues early because of Beach had a really good game plan, and that's what, Brian Coleman said. They came out, they did some things we've not seen before on defense, so we had to make some adjustments. Now, once they did, it was all over but the shouting, and then, defensively, they just make big plays when they, you have to be careful where you're throwing it, because John Dippold can make a big play, as he did Friday night. Mm-hmm. You've got, my guess is you might see number one on defense at times. You've got Brady Pierce back there.
Hollis is back there.
You've got Hollis in the defensive backfield. This is a Summit defense that doesn't get as much love as the offense, because they don't have a superstar outside of, even Keaton Wade is not really a superstar on this defense, because they're so good everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, they don't get a lot of love because all they do is stop people. I mean, what they do is not necessarily spectacular. But it's highly effective.
There's no one person that you go, this is the guy. Mm-hmm. It's not like a Miles Pollard over there where you go, he's the guy. Mm-hmm. You don't throw it toward that guy. Whatever. As a unit, they are as good as any defense I've seen in this region in a long time. And we've seen some pretty good defenses in this region.
Well, I mean, you look at the scores that they've put up. They beat Henry County in the opener 50-13.
And those 13 came late.
They beat Brentwood 27-14. Brentwood is still somewhat on the struggle bus. They beat Blackman at what was supposed to be an explosive Blackman team, 55-20, and had a running clock on them. And again, a couple of those scores came late. They shut out Centennial, and they beat a good Beach team by 4 touchdowns last week.
And only gave up 7 points.
Yeah, so, I mean, when it counts, this defense doesn't give up a whole lot. And if they do give up yards, they don't give up points. And you don't score off yards.
Can't score points off yards. Although first downs do equal touchdowns, is one of my favorite coaches would always say. Because eventually you get enough first down,
of them,
it's going to lead to points. But you got to get them in a row. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm telling you, this is going to be a fantastic football game. You can hear it right here on WKOM 101.7 FM. And you can watch it on
My TV 30.
My TV 30.
Friday Night Rivals.
Will Joe be there?
I don't know if he'll be there this week or not. He did get in last week's telecast. I don't remember who last week's game was.
Well, it's a Williamson County game. Seems like it would be a perfect opportunity for him to kill 2 birds, 1 stone.
There you go.
So I don't know. I always like it. We'll ask him on Tuesday or Monday, how he enjoyed it, if he's on it. That is gonna do it. We'll give you our picks at the end of the show. So I'm excited though. Ravenwood Summit. We've not seen this.
No, we've not. We've
not seen this.
Because like you said, it's been, 7 years since they last played. And
this has the feel of those Ravenwood Independence games that were for first or third.
And when we talked
2 years in a row,
we talked earlier this week about Columbia Central and Page being and we'll get to that one. But this has the same type feel. Really, this could be a region championship game right here.
It 100% feels like that. So I'm excited. We'll talk about that Columbia Central Page game off the rip, first thing.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll be right back on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We've got Columbia Central, Spring Hill, Franklin County, Lincoln County, Huntland, Collinwood, all in the next segment. So don't go anywhere, because we're bringing you everything you need to know about Friday night football right here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. WKOM 101.7 FM, WZYXradio.net. Stick around. We'll be right back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Covering the teams you care about. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Once again, live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. coming to you from the Lee Company studio and WKOM 1017 FM, WZYXradio.net. Getting you ready for high school football tonight and tomorrow. We're going to go through our Friday night games first. Before we get to our picks, we'll get to our Thursday night games at the very end because, well, they'll be coming right up, right after we get off the air. So, should be a lot of fun. And Class 5A, Region 6 is getting down to the nitty-gritty. 3 more region games this week. And a lot of playoff positioning will be determined, not maybe determined, but a firm grasp for most after this week. So it should be fun as we get into it.
I think it's fair to say determining.
Well, I'm talking
when you look at these 3 games tomorrow night and who they involve, I think it's fair to say determining.
I don't know, because I think Nolensville, Lincoln County, Franklin County is still going to be up in the air because those 2 of those still have to play each other. So that's kind of the only thing that is keeping, 6-5A from being done, is that Franklin County still has Lincoln County, Spring Hill, and Nolensville. Those 3 are going to be vying for the 3rd and 4th spot. So Spring Hill loses this week, they're pretty well out. I mean, they'd have to beat Franklin County and Columbia and hope for some tiebreakers. So yeah, it's going to get at least clearer, which is unusual because typically it
goes down to the last week.
It's clear as mud. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's going to be the case this time. So let's start in Region 6-5A with what we believe will determine that region's champion. Columbia Central travels to Page, and the Lions, heavy underdogs, if you ask Main Street Preps folks. Only 2 folks picked Columbia Central, me and Emily Spears.
That does not bode well for the Lions.
I'm just saying. I apologize. No, it was just us. It was me and Emily. Again, I am not convinced that Page has beaten anybody that just wows me. Had they played Giles County last week and beaten Giles County, that might have changed my perception, but it has not, because Fairview is a 3A school. They're supposed to beat them. They beat Franklin, who has been pretty bad this year, unfortunately. Spring Hill, Coffee County, Franklin County, and they only beat Franklin County. They beat them 32-15, but it was not 32-15. I mean, that was a game that was a game in the 4th quarter. So,
okay, I'm going to make a statement and I'm going to ask a question.
Go.
Okay. Fairview is the number 7 team in the state in Class 3A, according to the Associated Press.
Okay.
That's my statement. My question is, as you say, Page hasn't beaten anybody that wows you, and I'm not going to argue that other than Fairview is the number 7 team in the state in Class 3A. Who has Columbia Central beaten that wows you?
Nobody.
Okay.
But I feel like Marshall County is a pretty good football team. All right. I think Green Hill opened their eyes a little bit. We know that Nolensville has not been as good as we expected them to be. But they also didn't struggle to beat Nolensville like Page did Franklin County. And guess who didn't struggle to beat Franklin County? And that's Columbia Central. Now, as far as Fairview is concerned, their best win is probably either Creekwood or Stewart County, and they've got 2 wins combined. So, again,
Okay.
Fairview's number 17, but they haven't beaten anybody either.
Okay.
So that is all I'm saying is I think this Columbia Central team has more athletes than Page does. Page is probably going to beat them up front. It's going to be a matter of, can the athletes on the outside be enough to beat Page? I think they will.
Well, can the athletes on the outside be enough to beat Page, and can Central stay disciplined enough to give themselves a chance? And coming off a 17 penalty for a 122-yard performance last week against Mount Pleasant, I know John Moore has his doubts.
Well, he has his doubts, but as we saw against Green Hill, they respond when they have been challenged by their coaching staff. So we'll see. I'm excited about it because I think it's going to be a really good football game, and I certainly don't think it's as clear-cut as the entire Main Street Preps staff believes. Moving on, Spring Hill at Nolensville. Like we just said, Nolensville has not been as good as we expected. This is a game that Spring Hill has been in the last couple of years. You know, outside of Samson Johnson running for about 69 yards on one or two plays last year, I think he did that twice. Spring Hill was right in this football game. So I'll be interested to see if the Raiders can use at least that to motivate themselves. But outside of everything else that they've gone through, it's got to be tough.
I guess it depends on how you define Spring Hill has been in the last couple of games, because they've lost each of the last 3 games in this series, each by at least 2 scores. 10 plus points.
Well, they were, but Nolensville was really good last year.
Nolensville was really good last year and the year before. They went to the state semifinals in 4A each of the past 2 years before moving up to 5A this time.
And I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at is that they shouldn't have been in either of those games. And yet they were. And in the first half of that game last year, I'm shocked, as Spring Hill's right there with Nolensville. They may have been winning that game at halftime. I don't remember. But Spring Hill has, obviously, last week was brutal. Lincoln County in 2 overtimes, not what you want to see. A 3-game road trip starts now, and you are playing for a playoff spot. You've got 3 games left in the region. You've got to win them all.
Yeah, they've got after Nolensville tomorrow night. They go to Franklin County. They go to Mount Pleasant out of region, and then they finish up at home against Columbia Central. So, and like you said, you've got to find a way to win these next 2 in region play.
You have to
give yourself a shot. And it's going to come to Spring Hill's defense. They've scored a defensive touchdown each of the last 2 weeks. And the defensive touchdown they scored last week was their only touchdown.
And here's the thing. Getting to the quarterback is possible. And if they're able to do that, I don't think Nolensville's quarterback, he's a pretty young guy, I don't know that he has the ability to overcome being pressured. So if he gets frazzled early, it could be an issue for Nolensville, because for some reason they've not just turned around and handed the ball to Samson Johnson and let him win football games yet.
And maybe that's an offensive line thing.
It
But
very well could be.
If somehow Spring Hill can get up early and make that quarterback have to make some plays and then get him frazzled, because they can get to the quarterback.
Oh, there's no question. I'm telling you, Spring Hill has a better chance to win this game than most people in this region think, and it's because of their ability to get to the quarterback. That's all. That's what I got.
Okay.
Franklin County goes to Lincoln County, over to the pit. Now we know Franklin County has.
I know. Let's not call it the pit anymore.
Yeah, understandable. We know Franklin County tends to play better at home than on the road. Lincoln County, however, in the midst of an interim coach,
they've got a lot of turmoil in a program that has seen a lot of turmoil. And as I spoke with JP last weekend in post game, that Lincoln County program, once Fayetteville City opened, everything changed.
Everything.
And I don't know how they return to the days of the pit, or if they return to the days of the pit. But this is a team that scored 67 points in 6 games.
Now, that's kind of the issue here for Lincoln County is they've just not been able to score points. And it's because they just don't have the athletes that they would normally have if if Fayetteville City didn't exist.
Right.
I mean, that's just the bottom line. Fayetteville City is taking quite a bit of great players out of that system. And that's another story for another day. But it was none of it's of their own doing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And, Franklin County has also struggled to score. I mean, they beat Grundy County 34-0 last week, but before that, they had not scored more than 18 points in a game, and that was a game where they were doubled up by Giles County up at the Brickyard. So you've got 2 teams that have struggled to score, but you got some athletes on one of those teams.
That's where I was going. Franklin County's just going to out-athlete them this week.
The Holman twins and the Johnson kid at quarterback, you just feel like, and obviously we're going to get to our picks later in the show, but you feel like they've got some opportunities to make some big plays that Lincoln County, with the short, controlled passing game that they showed in their last game under Kevin Rose, they have to sustain drives. And I'm not sure that they can. Now, what they're doing differently under Eddie Cunningham, I'm not sure. But this will be an interesting ball game. But again, you're looking at 2 teams that, over the course of this season to this point, have struggled offensively.
That's correct. Huntland goes to Collinwood. And after a big win over Lookout Valley last week, the Hornets will be looking to continue that momentum. I believe, let's see here, they threw for 108 yards last week and ran for a bunch. This is a team that wants to run the football. Now, Collinwood, obviously Les Moat has some guys over there. Now, I mean, this is not going to be a walk-in and get a win for Huntland.
It's not going to be a walk-in and get a win for Huntland, but Huntland is coming off back-to-back road games at Cornersville and at Fayetteville, where they were outscored by a combined 75-0. So
that's what I'm saying. It's a long trip. We didn't get to see them against Wayne County.
Yeah,
they got to go back to Wayne County and play Collinwood. So,
and for Collinwood, I feel like this is a game that they feel like they can win.
Oh, they definitely
after playing Loretto to a 7-6 game, as we were talking to Barry Daniel earlier in the show, played Grace Christian out of Franklin to a 16-12 game, lost to Summertown 40-27. They feel like they can win this ball game.
They certainly do, and I don't think that they shouldn't. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll get to our picks, obviously, later in the show. But when we come back, we're going to talk Brentwood, Independence, Richland, Mount Pleasant, CA, Lawrence County, and Loretto, Summertown that's coming up tonight. So we'll get to all of those in the next segment. So stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today returns to the Lee Company studio right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, It will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant with you here on this Thursday edition as we get you ready for high school football. We have a couple of games tonight, a bunch of games tomorrow, including a couple that we believe will be region champion determining. So there's that. Other than those, however, we have some that have a pretty big impact on region outlooks, because when we're sitting here talking about Brentwood Independence, we're always talking about something pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, this is always if not a region championship, certainly a game with postseason implications. And
this year specifically,
if you're Scott Blade and you're Independence, you're feeling like Brentwood is better than 2-4. And you
better be telling your football team they are, because they are.
And you just don't want the Bruins to snap out of whatever's going on with them against you.
Now, Independence 2-0 currently in the region. Matter of fact, we've got a three-way tie for first and a three-way tie for second right now. Or for three-way tie for fourth, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that's Centennial, Brentwood, and Franklin. Now, I feel like this is going to determine that 3-4 seed. Now, again, Independence still has Summit and Ravenwood left. They've got Brentwood, Summit, Ravenwood left. They can play their way.
They control their own destiny.
There's no... we've seen Independence Ravenwood for a championship twice now in a row, maybe 3 times. And the Raptors have gotten the better end of that deal each time. But, yes, they absolutely control their own destiny. They can win this thing. There's no reason. I mean, they, outside of a Superman-like performance from Destin Wade last year, they beat Summit up and down the field. I mean, so... it's possible, but Independence has got to, and Brentwood too. I mean, Brentwood's 0-2. They've got to win these next 3, period. They've got to beat Independence, Franklin, and Centennial. They don't, I mean, if they don't win all 3 of those, it's likely that either Centennial or Franklin could sneak into that 4 spot.
Right.
So...
and I think Centennial Franklin play tomorrow night as well.
Right, so you know which one you got to beat, the winner of that one. Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be a 4-way or a 3-way tie, and you're at the mercy of a coin flip probably. And Jack Rummel is an absolute beast. Of course, you've got Ty Lockwood. Joe Cummings has been able to find the guys that he needs to find to put up points. Mostly Jack Rummel. And then, of course, you've got Trey Hartwell in the backfield that you can always hand it to and let him go.
I think, though, the key to this one will probably be Independence's defense, just continuing to make things hard on Brentwood quarterback Davis White, the running back Scott Collins, who had 106 yards last week against Hillsboro, and White's favorite receiver, Aaron Walton. Those two hooked up for 4 touchdowns in that Hillsboro win last week, 31-7.
And that's a good win, by the way. That's not a just a go out and get a win kind of game.
Yeah, Hillsboro's had their struggles. They've still not won one yet this year, but I mean, that's a talented ball club under a first-year coach, and that's a program that's been through a lot here over the last few years, playing off campus and that kind of thing. But yeah, that's a much-needed victory for Brentwood just from a confidence standpoint, I think, to come back into Region 7 6A play and to try to get one here tonight. Tomorrow night on the road. So.
I think this Indy-Brentwood game is going to be just like every other Indy-Brentwood game for the last 4 years.
Tough to think otherwise.
I mean, it just seems like this one always comes down to the final possession. Mm-hmm. And it has the last 3 times they've played.
3 or 4, yeah.
At least 3. The playoff game last year, the regular season game, and the playoff game the year before. Those 3 I know came down to the last possession. So, yeah, this is a game that always comes down to the final one. Moving on, Richland at Mount Pleasant. The Raiders traveling over to the Mount. Our team of the week, the Raiders.
Yeah. Big win last week, as we mentioned, against First Assembly Christian in on homecoming. You always want to win homecoming. Bryce Miller continues to come along. Threw for a couple of touchdowns last week. Sam Edwards with his biggest rushing performance of the year, 150 yards and a score. So that Raider offense has shown an ability to put some points up again. 47-0 last week, 42-7 over Hickman County, 3 weeks ago? So that'll definitely be the type performance they're looking for tomorrow against the Mount Pleasant team that obviously comes off a tough loss in the inaugural Rumble in the Jungle and did not get a whole lot done offensively against a 5A Columbia Central team. But I think they'll be looking obviously to getting back to a more level playing field from a talent, from a numbers standpoint in this one.
Yeah, and not just that. We've talked about it on this show quite a bit, how much of an impact Mount Pleasant's injuries have had. So how well they are healthy, how healthy they are is going to play a big part in this. And again, any given Friday night in Region 5 2A, you never know what's going to happen. I think this is a game where Gavin Alderson is probably going to make a massive impact. I have to think that, Richland's going to have a tough time blocking him. And when they put him in the backfield, he's hard to bring down too. So
I'm interested in defensive back Uriah Archibald coming off a 16-tackle performance against Columbia Central. How much momentum he carries out of that game into this game. Again, 16 tackles, 6 of those solos, 5 for loss, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. I mean, that's about as good a performance as you can put up defensively.
What's your secret? Well, the center, he hikes the ball to the quarterback, so I try to tackle him unless he hands the ball to somebody else. And in that case, I try to tackle that person. That was exactly what he was doing last week.
Little Bobby Boucher action, huh?
It brings me to my next point. Don't smoke dope. Oh, man. Yeah, this is going to be a really fun game. And again, I think this one has a lot of playoff implications as well.
It has some playoff implications, and also there's a little get back involved on the Mount Pleasant sidelines as Richland won this game 14-7 last year. That was the first time they had won in this series since 1993. Mount Pleasant had won 14 straight before that. I feel like they'll be reminded of that prior to kickoff tomorrow.
Well, if they haven't been, they just were. So think about that one. All right, Columbia Academy at Mount Juliet Christian, and Columbia Academy is struggling. All right, but had a pretty good week last week offensively. I mean, at least you feel like they found a little rhythm at some point. They were able to put some points on the board. So how does that momentum carry over into Mount Juliet?
I think it depends on what Columbia Academy does personnel-wise. We had Charlie Lansdale on, 3 weeks ago on Coach's Corner, and he was excited about the return of Connor Rawson from his broken collarbone at quarterback, and we had expected that to maybe be last week. Well, sophomore quarterback Elisha Nieves got his first start at quarterback last week. If Rawson took any snaps, he did not throw any balls because Reed McGrath went 0 for 2 in the passing game as well. But Nieves, the transfer from Zion Christian, threw and ran for 191 yards. I think specifically he threw for 153, ran for 38 on 8 carries, and threw for both of CA's touchdowns in that loss to Boyd Buchanan. So, if it's Nieves again at quarterback, they've got a little continuity there. Him, the freshman running back, Monte Baldwin, has had some success at times in the run game. Bryant Baranek last week went back to tight end, had 4 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown. So like you said, they showed some signs of life offensively in that ball game, and if they can carry that over against Mount Juliet Christian, they got a shot to break through here, I think.
I agree. Tonight, Lawrence County at Marshall County in Lewisburg. Big game for the Wildcats. It's going to be important for Alex Carr to make his presence known early and often.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about feast or famine with various teams on this show, and that's kind of the case for Lawrence County. 2 weeks ago, they lost to Pearl Cone in shutout fashion. Last week, they defeated Glencliff in shutout fashion. I don't think this one will be a shutout.
Either way.
No,
I don't think so.
No, but obviously, I mean, you pretty well said it. Alex Carr is pretty much the guy for Lawrence County. And defensively, they've got a really big challenge with Devontae Davis at quarterback. That's the guy that stepped in for Bryson Hammonds when he went down with a season-ending knee injury in Week 1 against Columbia Central. This guy's the classic dual threat guy, and he can take it to the house or throw it to the house on any play. So,
Yeah, I mean, he was playing
receiver.
Yeah, he was playing a position. So I mean, he can do some things with the football in his hand.
Right.
Other than just throw it. So it's going to be a tough night for the Wildcats to keep this one in check. You have to hope, if you are Lawrence County, that you're able to keep the clock rolling, shorten the game, and hopefully Alex Carr put some points on the board for you and for JP over here.
Not necessarily in that order.
4-2, the Wildcats.
Yeah.
So
2-2 in the region. I mean, they're still in the hunt for
they're right
for
there.
a playoff spot. Yeah, in this 9-team region.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You can win 4 games and not get in the playoffs, and there's some regions where you don't have to win a game at all
To get in the playoffs.
to get in the playoffs. So there's that. Loretto at Summertown, the Pegasus Cup. Here we go. Going to be a lot of fun. Colton Schaefer, Carter Daniel at quarterback. But I think this one hinges on Javen Edmondson in the running game for Summertown, and on Loretto running back
Caden Porter.
Caden Porter. That's it.
There you go.
Good job.
There you go.
I think those two are that's where the game is going to hinge tonight.
Well, I mean, Barry Daniel said it in our second segment. Run the ball, stop the run. Sounds simple. It's not the first time you've heard it, but, I mean, cliches are cliches for a reason. And, you know, if they can run the ball with Porter and Case Tucker, if they can stop the run of Edmiston and Anakin Johnson, then they're going to be in this ball game for 4 quarters. And conversely for Summertown in their defense, if they can
got
slow
the
down
exact same thing.
that two-headed monster in the run game of Porter and Tucker, and if they can spring Edmiston and Johnson and maybe mix in a big play from time to time from the big quarterback for Summertown, Colton Schaefer, then I think this one goes to the wire. I mean, it was 12-7 last year. It was 31-30 Loretto and double OT 2 years ago, both winning on the road, which adds a little level of intrigue as well. So
I'm excited. I mean, Javen Edmiston, he runs for a first down just about every time he touches it. I mean, obviously he's got some big plays in there. That's what you have to stop on both sides. You have to keep the big play in check. If you can keep the big play in check and force either of these teams to drive down the field, it's good for your defense. And I expect a big defensive battle tonight. I really do.
I'd agree.
You're going to enjoy that Schaefer's brisket before the game, I'm sure.
You already know.
I don't even know where I'm going in Lewisburg. Where should I go in Lewisburg?
It's nothing that really stands out, but I'm
Witt's
usually just
barbecue's pretty good.
Yeah, I usually just in and out in Lewisburg, but
Yeah. Friday Night Bites, not going to be great. And Page, there's nothing. Like, I mean, you just got to go to Franklin and hope. Go to Steak and Shake on 96, I guess.
Don't do that.
What's the gas station? The gas station is really good breakfast. I don't know if they have good food in other times, though.
I don't either.
Right there
I've
at
never
that-
been. I've heard of it, heard about it.
It's
Yeah.
a solid gas station.
That's what I hear. I've
But-
never been.
I've only gotten breakfast there, so I don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. We'll tell you who's going to win on the other side of the break. Our pick'em comes at you going bottom to top. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, returns to the Lee Company studio right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
The sports talk show you've always wanted. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. From preps to pros. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We get ready to give you our picks for the day. Don't forget, tomorrow, before high school football kicks off from 6 o'clock until your local station takes over, you can hear JP, Mo Patton, myself, and the guest this week, is Murphy Fair. We'll talk about the biggest games happening around the state from Bristol to Memphis before the games. And, of course, after the games, you can listen to JP and Murphy and a cast of dozens from the Main Street Preps roster of reporters giving you timely coverage on our scoreboard show, TriStar Friday Night Live. If you're listening at the game, or if you want to listen at the game, there is a way to just, you can get our radio link, you can watch it on Facebook. All of that's available at Main Street Preps on Twitter, at Main Street Preps on Twitter. And you can listen.
Yeah, and there's also a link at mainstreetpreps.com. There'll be a link at the top of the page.
Just click the link.
Yep,
it'll take you to the radio, and then you can actually close your phone, put it in your pocket, put some headphones in, and you can hear live updates from across the mid-state. So that's pretty much all Middle Tennessee. I mean, you get some East scores for sure, and West scores, but the reporters are going to come to you from Middle Tennessee. So everything you need to know about, and JP whipping around with radio coverage. That's always fun. You get to hear radio broadcasts. Like last week, Pearl-Cohn, Tullahoma, I got to hear the end of that radio broadcast. It was pretty cool. So really excited to bring you the pregame show at 6 o'clock, and then, of course, JP and TriStar Friday Night Live. Let's get to our picks. Last week, 11-1 were Chris and Mo. That's right, 11-1. Come on. 45-12 tied on the year. So here we are.
And hats off to Tullahoma for spoiling our perfect run.
Did not see that coming at all. But here we are. Mo, let's start with games tonight. The Pegasus Cup. Loretto at Summertown.
This has traditionally been a close ball game, and I don't see any deviation from that tonight. I think, unlike the last two that have gone to the visitors, I think the host Mustangs get it done here. Close, but get it done.
I'm sorry, did you say the host Mustangs?
I did say the host Mustangs. The host Eagles, Summertown, the team in blue.
Gotcha. So
Yeah,
Summertown's
my bad.
going to win.
I've got Summertown winning this ball game. I did say the host Mustangs, and that would have been a problem because had I gone to Loretto, it would have been an even bigger problem. But yes, I've got Summertown winning this ball game.
I'm going to agree with you. I think that this is going to be a very close ball game. It could go either way. I think the difference is that Summertown has won close games, whereas Loretto has typically been on the losing end of those close games outside of the 7-6 win over Collinwood. So I'm going to go with the Eagles at home on the home sideline with the press box. Lawrence County at Marshall County. I'm sorry, JP, but I don't think there's any chance that me and Mo are going to be picking the Wildcats tonight.
I just don't think Lawrence County has the firepower to pull off the upset here. And I think it would be an upset. Marshall County is what, 9th in the AP?
They are, and they're
4A
4-1.
Yeah, 8th, excuse me.
4-1, ranked 8th. I mean, they're right there with Tullahoma and Pearl-Cohn. Next week they get the Firebirds. Maybe they're looking ahead.
And Montgomery Central. You've got 4 teams out of that region ranked in the top 10. Of course, they got 9.
Yeah, well, that's
Still.
not even half of the.
Yeah.
You got 4 teams ranked. Not even half of them are ranked. Yeah, I think the problem is, like you said, they're not going to have enough firepower, and they're going to need it because I don't think they have the defense to hold Marshall County to the points they need to. So, therefore, Marshall County. Columbia Academy traveling to Mount Juliet Christian. Both teams winless? I don't know.
Both teams winless?
I don't think so. I think
Has Mount Juliet Christian won a game?
Okay.
Mount Juliet's won 2 games.
Wow.
Okay. Well,
They're
I-
2-3.
I
Look at
think
that.
after tonight, Mount Juliet Christian will have, after tomorrow night, excuse me, Mount Juliet Christian will have still won 2 games. I think the Bulldogs get it done here. I like what they were able to accomplish offensively, in particular last week against a pretty good Boyd Buchanan squad. And I just think they're going to carry some of that momentum over. And again, the young kids may lead them. Sophomore quarterback, freshman running back, and get in behind them.
1,000% agree. Columbia Academy. It's going to take some getting to, but Bulldogs get the win. Richland at Mount Pleasant.
This is a tough pick for me.
Yes, it is.
Just because, like you said, Chris, the number of injuries that Mount Pleasant has had has really kind of stunted their growth, I think, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You've seen it in spurts. They're going to need to show some consistency on offense to have a chance to win this one, but I think they get it done. I've got the Tigers at home.
I'm with you on all of that. I think this is a one-possession game. I think it probably comes down to the final possession, just like it did last year. I think this is going to be as good of a football game as you're going to find in the area, and I think Mount Pleasant gets the win, but I don't think it's going to be easy. So take that and use it as you will, Nick.
I think it's going to be a great ball game. I'm looking forward to it.
You'll be at it, won't you?
I will.
You were there last year.
I was.
Brentwood at Independence. First time I haven't gone to the regular season Brentwood Independence game.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'm just saying. I've been here 5 years, and it's the first one I've ever missed. So this is interesting. Brentwood Independence. I think this is going to be a really good football game. The Golden Dome Bowl.
I like that. As long as Notre Dame doesn't show up, we'll be good. I don't, like I said earlier when we talked about this ball game, Brentwood has had their struggles. I think those struggles continue another week. I think Independence, just offensively, man, they have so much talent in so many areas. I mean, you talked about Jack Rummel, you talked about Ty Lockwood. You didn't even mention River Katina.
I didn't even mention River, who's the number 2 leading receiver in Southern Middle Tennessee. So,
yeah. So I mean, they've got options.
That's the thing, is it doesn't matter how quickly they need to score, they can score that quickly.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So, yeah, Independence as well. Huntland at Collinwood. I'm going to go Trojans here. I think this is going to be a really good ball game, but I think the trip has some issues, and I think Collinwood's a pretty good football team.
This is a tough pick. And it's tough to pick, like you said, Huntland happened to come so far for this ball game, but I'm going with the Hornets. I think they've got a little momentum coming out of the win last week, and I think they find a way to pick up another one here.
Franklin County at Lincoln County. Rebs at the Falcons. This is also a tough game to pick, but I am going to go with the Rebels, mainly because I think they're just going to out-athlete Lincoln County.
I'd agree. And it's not as tough a pick for me as apparently it is for you. I just like Franklin County in this one. Like I said, I think Lincoln County is going through too much right now. And
Franklin County coming off a big win, too. So, Spring Hill at Nolensville. For me, I think this is a game that Nolensville should win. I think they will win it. I'm going to pick the Knights. But again, as I said earlier, I think that Spring Hill is going to keep this one closer than some people might think.
I might be one of those people. My picks are already online, actually, at mainstreetmurray.com. So if you want to
look in the crystal ball.
Yeah, I mean, you can continue listening, but they're already online. I think Nolensville wins this 3 touchdowns.
Handily?
Yeah.
Here it is. Columbia Central at Page. I already told you.
Yeah, you did.
I already told you. Columbia Central is going to go over there and get the win now. This is going to be a great football game. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. I think that Page is going to win up front most of the time. But I think when it comes down to it and they've got to have a play, Columbia Central's got the guys to make it.
I think Jake McNamara has an ability to make plays offensively for Page, either throwing the ball or pulling it down and getting upfield himself. And I'm not sure defensively that Columbia Central can cover the field the way they need to against this guy, or keep the ball. Your best defense in this one would be a good offense if you're Central. And keeping that guy on the sideline.
And the way they run the ball, it could happen.
It could happen, but I like Page in this one, especially on the road. Page has won all 4 games in this series, including a 28-10 win last year.
That's right. I think that's part of the reason Columbia Central is going to win this one is because of what happened last year. I think they're going to respond. Ravenwood at Summit, the Fast Stop game of the week, and what we believe to be this region's, at least get the foothold. Top game. Ravenwood or Summit, what you got?
I've got Summit in this one. Again, Ravenwood 5-1. Their only loss coming in week 1 over at MBA. Pretty good MBA team. Both these teams coming off wins, as we talked about. Ravenwood beating Hendersonville by a touchdown. Summit beating Beach pretty big. We got Destin Wade and you don't.
Yep. That's the difference. I mean, if Ravenwood gives up rushing yards like they did last week, it's not even going to be close. Now, Chris Parsons pretty good. But I got the Spartans in this one, and I don't know that anybody in this region can play with Summit right now. I just don't. I don't know that anybody in the western part of the state can play with Summit right now at any level. So
I don't disagree with that.
I got the Spartans. All right. Anybody west of Murfreesboro, that is. That's going to do it for this edition of Southern Middle Tennessee Sports today as we get ready. Loretto at Summertown, Lawrence County at Marshall County. Remember, full coverage, MainStreetMurray.com tonight, MainStreetPreps.com. You can see full coverage of both games right there tonight. So come back tomorrow. We'll get you set up for SEC football, National College Football, Tennessee Titans, the rest of the NFL, all of that. And hopefully we're celebrating a Braves division championship, a 4th straight. So again, stick around tomorrow for a full slate of college and pro football. JP, thank you for today. We appreciate you. You did a great job. Mo, let's go watch some high school football and keep it going tomorrow. I'm Chris Yao saying have a great day and stay cool, Columbia.